on to some albums now. Well, I guess an
right.
EP to start.
Kind of an EP to start. One that I haven't stopped banging on about. It's Profound Morality by Heriot.
You described this, I think, Dan, on our Instagram story when it first came out as a stonker of an album.
I did. You're correct.
Very apt. I thought that was a perfect description of it. The thing that stood out to me the most was how impressive the sort of atmosphere and like world building was. I think a lot of bands can sort of miss the mark in trying to do that. I think there are only a few albums in recent memory that have done it well. Underneath by Code Orange, both of Vane FM's albums, and then Not Loose's Tearing the Fabric of Life EP. And I think I would add this Heriot release to that list of like perfectly creating a singular sound and then exploring that sort of fully within the album as it runs. It felt like I felt quite transported. Like at times it was like being dragged through hell, like by chains, and then at times it was like a peek into the future of like a bleak, like cold world. I don't know. I felt quite.
That's some great imagery. I like that.
I think I felt quite just evoked like a lot of mental images for me.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean though, because there's like a really nice balance of kind of the chaotic heaviness that you expect from a band like this, and then there's like the quieter, floaty moments as well that, like I said, building that world, creating that imagery as well. And
I think sort of when looking at some of the artwork as well, they've sort of intentionally left a lot of it very vague.
Orange.
And orange, yeah.
True.
But it's all very vague and very, like nothing's clear and you can't really make anything out.
Open to interpretation.
Yeah, I think that sort of adds to this whole, like, you can listen to this and you can take your own thing from it.
Yeah.
Sort of interpret it however you want.
This is one that, from my first listen to it, kind of had an initial response, and it's actually grown on me since then. There is such a strong and heavy wall of sound, I think, throughout the whole thing. Instrumentally, like, very well done, but still unrelenting in that, and it's very aggressive. I thought the vocals are a bit too low in the mix for me. I would have enjoyed them a little bit louder.
That's fine.
I think that adds to the world building.
I can see how it does, but I guess
it's like they're not at the front. It's like they're a ghost, just kind of
as that though. But then, like from coming like a musically analytical, I guess, point from that, I don't know. For what appeals to me, that draws me in, is I'll have like that kind of like strong vocal bit front and center. That would be like, okay, that's kind of like sometimes a do or die on a band. You can have some very standard instrumentals, but if the vocals don't pull you in, that's all it's going to be, standard. Carmine Fills the Hollow had me picturing myself in a circle pit right from when it started. And for those like 1 minute and 40 odd seconds, I literally had the image of just me in a circle pit the whole time, which is just quite a fun image.
So Alex builds up the image of like a desolate post-apocalyptic wasteland.
And then me in a circle pit. Yeah, fuck it. Love that.
See, open to interpretation.
Yeah, exactly.
The duality of man.
I felt at times like the songs were so short I couldn't fully get into them. I think like it just left me wanting more, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because I enjoyed what I heard, but it just felt like sometimes it wasn't enough. And like I'm wanting more out of it. It just felt like a bit preemptive, like being just cut off. I was like, fuck, okay, I'm starting to like maybe a minute or so, minute 20 get into the song, and then 20 seconds later it's finishing. So that made it a little bit jittery for me in terms of trying to get into it more.
But I think that might be a good thing, because then with the songs being short and the overall length being short, you come away thinking, oh god, I can't wait for them to release more. I think it is a very
I don't think that it was done deliberately. No. But I think it works quite well.
Yeah, it's like leaving you wanting more, definitely.
It's a nice little showcase of like, hey, this is what we can do.
Mm.
Follow us, like, come see us at Download.
Yeah,
come see us at Trees, all these gigs we're playing.
I think a little bit underwhelmed from that in terms of wanting that little bit more, but I can still like hear so much potential in what they could become, and them only being so like young as a band and just breaking through. They are definitely people to watch out for.
I think one of the things, it lends itself really well to like the album format. I don't think it'd have the same kind of magic if you just listen to one song on its own in a playlist. I think
no, that's true.
It works best start to finish, the whole collection of songs together, because you'll have like, it starts off with a baden, which is kind of basically just setting the atmosphere and getting you ready for Coalescence, which follows you and hits in with pace and power, and then the next song will kind of chill out a bit again. So yeah, I think it lends itself well to be one cohesive thing.
Yeah,
Definitely.
especially with the use of, like, I think if you took out all the sort of interlude songs, I don't think it would feel as cohesive and as sort of thorough.
Yeah.
A little bit like then, my immediate thought is that Static Dress EP. Where I can't remember what it was called, where for me particularly...
To a lesser extent, but I know you
that
know
was,
what you mean.
That was one that you kind of had those songs peppered in there, and like almost like the interlude, you kind of like pull through sections from song to song. Took me out of that a bit too much. This one was better at kind of keeping you involved and in like the same mind frame, and make it an easier transition to listen to the whole
I think the
thing
struggle
as a
with the Static Dress one was that it was very story driven, whereas the interludes here are a bit more sort of thematic, like atmosphere, like tension building, which is why I think they give more, whereas the Static Dress ones probably take away from the experience of the songs, in my opinion.
A must see at festivals this summer then, you reckon?
I think so, yes.
Yeah. I think they're going to put on a great performance, and this is the start of something very good for them. And who knows, we may see them get an award at the Heavy Music Awards, which we'll be going to again this year.
Here.